On the manufacturing division, hey, I see the problem as all manufacturing jobs are gone. Ship them all overseas. The current country's creating no wealth. Brokerage firms, you don't create any wealth, although you take it out of the economy. What do we do to bring jobs back?
Well, first of all, a lot of brokerage firms don't create wealth. Right? But I do a lot of private investment. I fund private companies. I just funded a company up in North Dakota with millions of dollars to drill for oil. So I do perform a function of allocating capital, funding projects. I look for businesses that need capital and put investors together with capital. But yeah, a lot of firms like Goldman Sachs, all they do is speculate. All they do is trade money. Their revenues comes from gambling. Right? So that isn't helping the economy. But you're right. What this country needs is manufacturing. We need wealth-producing jobs, goods-producing jobs. You can't have a service sector economy. It's a farce. We are running $40, $50 billion a month trade deficits because our economy doesn't work. We are borrowing money from the rest of the world to import products that we can't afford and we didn't make, and our country is being bankrupted. But you have to look at the root cause. Why have we lost all of our manufacturing jobs? It's not because our wages were too high. At one point, America had the highest wages in the world, yet we produced the least expensive manufactured goods. And if you look at other countries that have higher wage scales than we do, like Germany and Japan, they have trade surpluses, not only with us, with China. The problem with our manufacturing is government. Government destroyed our manufacturing with rules and regulations and taxes that rendered them uncompetitive. That is the problem. You know, I saw a documentary, a news piece over the weekend on Detroit. I think it was on NBC or Dateline or one of these shows. I don't know how many people saw that. But, I mean, it's because of disgrace. I mean, if you look at Detroit, it's like a foreign power invaded them and destroyed them in a war. They weren't invaded by a foreign power. They were invaded by Washington, D.C., by the rules and the regulations that destroyed a once vibrant American city. You know, Connecticut has the same problem. We used to manufacture a lot in Connecticut. What happened to those industries? We need to get those industries back. But it's not going to happen with this huge regulatory structure that we have and the tax code that we have. But we're not, and repealing regulations is easy. It doesn't cost any money at all. It's cutting taxes that's hard, because in order to do that, we've got to cut spending first. But unfortunately, career politicians don't want to do that. They get reelected by spending our money because they buy votes. I want to put an end to that. Right? That's why I'm only running for one term. I'm not going there to get reelected. I'm going there to get government off your back so that this economy can grow again. And I don't want to write new regulations. I want to repeal years of regulations that have been written that are destroying the economy. I want to abolish departments. I don't want to create new ones. And we have to make the government smaller. As I said earlier, the federal government is spending almost $4 trillion a year, $3.8 trillion. That's more than twice what it spent 10 years ago. How can we afford a government that's doubled in size in the span of one decade? The economy's not twice as big. Nobody's earning twice as much. How can we possibly survive with a government this big? Because where does the government get that money? It takes it out of the private sector. And most importantly, it takes the investment capital away. By running huge deficits, people want to wonder, why can't a small business get a loan? Because the government borrowed the money. Or because they guaranteed loans, so someone on Wall Street got the money and is speculating with it. We can't grow an economy when the government is crushing it.
Final question.
Yes.
I saw you in Hamden, and for the most part I agree with everything you're saying. But like Jack mentioned, you didn't have genetic engineer in your video. I might have misheard you, and so I'd like you to clarify. Someone asked you, said, it seems like you're still saying you might be better off as a governor. And it seems to me your answer was, most of your financing is coming from out of state and California and all that good stuff. And if you were running for, because you were in the Senate, it would be affecting the entire country, so the out-of-state financing was there. But if you ran for governor, of course, you only really affected Connecticut, so your financing would dry up. Did I mishear you, or is that true? And
well, we certainly have a lot of problems in Connecticut, and I think I would do a pretty good job as governor trying to get rein in the state government. I mean, Connecticut has got we have one of the highest tax burdens in the country. We're the most indebted people in the country per capita. We're number one in per capita debt in the entire country. We have all sorts of rules and regulations. We have an attorney general that's suing everybody in sight. So there are a lot of particular problems that are being put upon us by Hartford, right? But I think there is a greater problem coming down on Connecticut from Washington, D.C. That's a bigger problem than Hartford. I mean, Connecticut is one of the states that is the worst in that for every dollar that Washington takes from us, we only manage to get back about 60 cents. So Connecticut, more than almost any other state in the Union, benefits from what I want to do. What I want to do is shrink government, make government less expensive, so that fewer dollars go to Washington from the states, of which Connecticut is going to disproportionately benefit. But absolutely, there are a lot of people I've known throughout the country. I've known, throughout the world. Right? One of the volunteers that's here, that's working on my campaign, he came here from Norway to work on the campaign. He's not even an American citizen. He can't vote in the elections, but he's concerned about capitalism. He's concerned about our country, and he thinks I can help. I've got a lot of supporters around the country who know me. They know me from television. They know me from my books. They know me from YouTube, and they believe in me. Most particularly the young people who are either going to inherit this country or who are going to emigrate and looking for opportunities in other countries and stick us with our debt. And the fact is, I have a lot of support throughout the country because people believe that if I go to the Senate, I actually might make a difference for Connecticut and for the entire country. So I have a lot of support. But there's no question that everything that I'm going to do disproportionately benefits Connecticut because we pay a disproportionately high amount of the taxes that I want to cut. And we suffer a bigger burden of shouldering this huge government. But it doesn't mean that, that I'm not a Connecticut candidate. I live in Connecticut. I own a business in Connecticut. I got a kid in school in Connecticut. I pay Connecticut state income taxes. I just got a huge tax hike, this time around. So I've got a big stake in the state of Connecticut. And so just because I'm getting money from individuals around the country who believe in freedom, believe in the Constitution, and believe in me, doesn't take anything away from me. I haven't gotten a single penny from a PAC. I don't have any money from special interests. I have money from individual American citizens. Some of them live in Connecticut, many of them don't. I have 20,000 Americans who want me to win the Senate seat for the country, right? For Connecticut and for everybody. And they know that I'm not there just to play the game. I'm not a politician. I'm going there for one reason. I'm not going to sacrifice my principles like so many other Republicans have. And there are a lot of Republicans in other states who know they don't have a good person to vote for. There's no quality candidate. There is one in Connecticut. And so they want to support me because it's a waste of time to support their own candidates because what are they going to do? Nothing. Nothing is going to change. If I get elected, if Connecticut sends me to Washington, things might actually change.
Okay, thank you very much.